Hello guys, today we will discuss about what is Scrum framework in Agile. So, Scrum is a framework through which we can develop and test the software and finally we can release the software to the customer. So, Scrum is a framework through which we build the software product by following the Agile principles. So, main Scrum framework in Agile starts from here. Input from executive means he is a customer or stakeholder and he is a product owner. What is what is mean by the product owner? Product owner, uh, also called as business analyst or project owner. So product owner gather the requirement from the stakeholder or customer. It defines the features of product and it prioritizes the features according to the market values. Project owner or product owner is a team member of sprint planning meeting. Product owner is responsible guy to create the product backlog. Means what is the product backlog? So product backlog is a kind of document or it is a kind of Excel file document. Product backlog contain all the storage and all the requirement defined by the product owner. He is the product owner. He defined the requirement and storage and he is the create one of the document in the product backlog. It include means product backlog includes requirement for all the modules. Product backlog prepared by the product owner. It is the product backlog. Product backlog prepared by the product owner at the beginning of agile process. So, what is mean by the product backlog? It is a kind of document or Excel file created by the product owner. Then let's go to the sprint planning meeting. So, sprint planning meeting conduct with the team or people involved in a project, project owner, development team, and testing team. These guys are involved in a sprint planning meeting. What people involved, project owner, development team, and testing team, all the guys are present in the sprint planning meeting. It conduct with the team to define what can be delivered in the next sprint or next duration. So during the sprint planning meeting, team will be decide. This team will be decide what are the stories in the product backlog, what are the stories, what are the modules, or what are the functionality we develop and test and release to the customer in the particular sprint. So the main focus of sprint planning meeting is how many stories we have in backlog. Means how many stories we have in backlog. All the stories in the product backlog. But which story we want to work, this is decided in the sprint planning meeting. Means how many stories we have in backlog, how many stories we are going to develop and test during the project or test during the sprint, and what is the duration of sprint. Generally sprint duration is 2 to 4 weeks. So this all about the sprint planning meeting. Then what is sprint backlog? Sprint backlog created by the product owner. Remember guys, product owner is a responsible guy to create the product backlog and sprint backlog also. So What is sprint backlog? Sprint backlog is created by the product owner. Sprint backlog contain user stories. Okay, it contain detailed information. It contain sprint backlog contain detailed information about the requirement which are required for module development. So what is mean by the sprint backlog? So sprint backlog contain user storage and it contains the detailed information about the module or about the requirement which are required for the module development. So we have few number of stories or few number of modules committed by the development team, testing team in the specific sprint. These are the sprint. So here the scrum meeting, daily scrum meeting. So scrum meeting in conducted scrum meeting here daily scrum meeting. Daily scrum meeting conducted by the scrum master. Scrum master is a responsible guy. Scrum master is a responsible guy to create the daily scrum meeting every day 15 to 30 minutes. Scrum meeting is happen in 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Time for meeting either 10:30 to 11 or 11 to 11:30. And Scrum Master is a responsible guy to conduct the daily Scrum meeting. It is also called as stand-up meeting. So here, how many people is involved in the daily Scrum meeting? Scrum Master is involved because Scrum Master is chairperson of team. Then testing team also present and development team also present. In the daily Scrum meeting, people involved Scrum Master, testing team and development team. And this daily Scrum meeting, agenda of this daily Scrum meeting is what is the progress of project. What is the progress of project? These are the main principle or main agenda of this daily Scrum meeting. Here, three main questions asked in daily Scrum meeting, which is what is the question? There are three main questions asked in Scrum meeting. What is did yesterday? What we are going to do today? And what are the blocks or issues? These three questions are asked in daily Scrum meeting. Then, what is burn down chart or burn up chart? Burn down chart and burn up chart. It is a kind of a graph prepared by the Scrum Master. Means Scrum Master is responsible guy to create the burn down chart and burn up chart. It is a kind of a graph. Burn down chart shows how much work remaining in the sprint. Means how much work is remaining in the sprint maintained by the Scrum Master. And this particular chart says, and this particular chart or graph says how much work is planned, how much work is completed, and how much work is still pending. This particular chart says these three things. Which things? How much work is planned, how much work is completed, and how much work is still pending. So So this going to the sprint retrospective meeting. So what is sprint retrospective meeting? Sprint retrospective meeting conducted only once after completion of every sprint. Means every after completion of every these are the print. When this sprint is completed, then a retrospective meeting is conducted. Sprint retrospective meeting conducted after the completion of sprint before the start sprint. After completion of the sprint, retrospective meeting is conducted, and before sprint started, also the retrospective meeting is conducted. So here in the retrospective meeting or sprint retrospective, we are discussed what went well, what went well, what went wrong, and what can be improved by the next sprint. What we can improve for the next sprint. These three things discussed in the sprint retrospective. The entire team, including the Scrum Master, this product owner, along with the development team and testing team. Everybody participate in this sprint retrospective meeting. Understand, guys? This sprint retrospective meeting conducted at only once after completion of the sprint and before starting sprint. This sprint retrospective meeting is conducted. In this sprint retrospective meeting, three things are discussed: what went well, what went wrong, and what can be improved in the next sprint. Then, then what is remaining, guys? Sprint. This all about the sprint. This all about the Scrum framework. If any doubt is occurs, please tell me in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video.